Welcome back to part 2 of my 11-day celebrity cruise around the Mediterranean. Thanks for joining. Day 6 on our epic adventure, and we've disembarked in Rhodes. Hard to believe we're already more than halfway through. This island is so close to Turkey that you can actually see it from the east coast. And with around 300 days of sun a year, it's no wonder Apollo, the Greek god of the sun, was honored here. We kicked things off with a leisurely stroll through Old Town Rhodes, which is a treasure trove of history and charm. Then we hopped on a bus for a quick 30-minute ride to the Lindos Acropolis, which is kind of like the smaller sibling to the Athens' famous Acropolis, but just as stunning. The bus service is pretty regular with stops near major tourist spots and hotels, so getting around is a breeze. When we arrived in Lindos, the real adventure began, walking up the hill to the Acropolis. It's only about a 20-minute walk, but pro tip, go early. First, fewer crowds. We saw the line stretching all the way to the shops when we came back down. Second, it is hot. There's barely any shade, so trust me, you want to get there early before the heat hits. Don't forget water and sunscreen, you're gonna need it. Entry's just €6 per person, which is a steal for the experience. Now, once you get to the Acropolis of Lindos, it's all worth it. Perched on a high cliff about 116 meters above sea level, the views are breathtaking. You've got the Temple of Athena, Lindia, an ancient Hellenistic stoa, a Byzantine church, and even Knights period fortifications. Plus, you're overlooking the Aegean Sea. After that hike, we headed back to Old Town Rhodes, and let me tell you, this place is incredible. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and when you stroll through the ancient gates and along the Street of the Knights, you'll feel like you've stepped back in time. Then, there's the Palace of the Grand Master, which is the highlight. This place was once the headquarters of the Knights of St. John, and now it's a museum with some seriously cool stuff. Rhodes really packs in the history, and I could have spent all day just soaking it in. But it was time to grab some lunch and relax before heading back to the ship. If you're planning a visit, trust me, don't rush through it. There's so much to explore, and every corner of this island feels like a living history lesson. Next up, we're visiting Ephesus, one of the most famous ancient cities in the world. But heads up, before you book a tour, there's a few things you need to know. First, the tour ticket prices are misleading. You'll pay around €35 for the bus ride, but the actual entry fee to the ancient city is another €40, bringing your total to €75 per person. A lot of people on our tour were caught off guard when they found out they had to pay extra for entry. Also, be prepared for a wait. The bus didn't leave until it was full, so we ended up waiting about an hour to start. If you didn't pay for the extra entry, you're stuck waiting for about 90 minutes in the parking lot. Now, taxis to the city are around €50 to €60, which could be worth it if you're in a group, but again, that €40 entry still applies. Once inside, the tour guide did a great job explaining the history and the context of the ruins. It was impressive to see how well some of the artifacts have been preserved. Here's where things got weird. After the tour, they were supposed to take us to another historical site, but they skipped it because we started late. Instead, we were taken to shops. Shops we specifically said no to as a group. And the guide said it was mandatory, which was a huge red flag. We ended up at a leather store where they closed the doors, turned off the lights, and had us watch a runway show of leather coats. Apparently this is typical in Turkey, where tour guides funnel tourists into shops they have deals with. So now you know what to expect if you go on a tour like this. Definitely a buyer beware situation. Welcome to Istanbul. Our adventure started at Galata Port, the world's first underground cruise terminal. This place is a game changer. It's sleek, futuristic, and gets you off the ship into the city in just 15 minutes. Seriously, it's like stepping off a cruise and straight into a high-tech airport. Now let's talk Istanbul. It's the only city on the planet that connects two continents, Europe and Asia. It's got ancient vibes, modern energy, and a history that's pure magic. First up is the Yeni Cami Mosque. This is located in the İmönü Square at the end of the Galata Bridge and near the Egyptian Spice Bazaar. It's free to enter, and trust me, the intricate details will blow your mind. Ladies, bring a scarf. It's all part of embracing the culture. Turkish desserts are on next level. The baklava, the lokum, nothing like the packaged stuff back home. It's fresh, it's indulgent, and it's everywhere. And you can't walk 5 steps without finding something delicious. Next, we hit Sultanahmet Square, and wow, you've got the Hagia Sophia, a building that's been standing for 1500 years, and the Blue Mosque dripping in over 20,000 handmade tiles. We mostly stuck to the European side, but don't skip the Asian neighborhoods. They've got this laid-back charm and some of the best dessert spots you'll ever find. Istanbul isn't just a destination, it's a vibe, a feast for the senses, and an adventure you'll never forget. The vibes here? Absolutely electric, and you can feel the stories in every stone. Then it was off to the Grand Bazaar, the ultimate shopping experience. Over 3,000 shops buzzing with energy. Yes, the sellers can be a little pushy, but a firm no thanks works just fine. And it's all part of the fun, and who knows, you might score a killer deal. Last, but definitely not least, Athens, Greece. We docked and headed straight to our hotel, ready to soak in the city's rich history. First stop, the iconic Acropolis, right in the heart of downtown. Pro tip, the tickets are timed to manage crowds. Some guides might try to upsell you on a €45 tour claiming instant access, but regular entry is just €12.90. Honestly, skip the upsell. The next slot is usually only a 30-minute wait, and there's plenty to explore around the Acropolis while you wait. Now let's talk about this legendary site. The Acropolis isn't just any high city, it's the Acropolis perched on a limestone hill above Athens. This place has been everything, a home to kings, a citadel, a sanctuary for the gods, and now a UNESCO World Heritage Site. And somehow, despite centuries of earthquakes, battles, and vandalism, it still stands as a testament to Greece's incredible history. The Parthenon? Absolutely breathtaking. And just below, on the south slope, are ancient theaters like the Theater of Dionysus and the Roman-era Odeon of the Herodes Atticus. Fun fact, you can still catch a show at the Odeon during the summer. How cool is that? Exploring the Acropolis is nothing short of magical. Its history, its resilience, it's easy to see why it's one of the most iconic sites in the world. And that's a wrap on this travel adventure. I hope you enjoyed tagging along and picked up some fun tips for your own epic adventures. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more travel inspiration. Thanks for watching.